Okay, she's waking up a little bit. Got a new line for that too. It's like, that's holding, but it wasn't called because I'm a Chiefs fan. Oh, that's really good. Okay, we can. Hello and welcome to my review for the Swag Judge, which releases on January 31st, and trust me, I'm just as shocked as you are, for several different reasons, as you'll see throughout the video. There's a metric ton to talk about, and since that's what I do best, I'm just going to let it flow, and we'll end up where we end up. Now, at the same time, this is still going to be a regular review. I'm not going to go off the rails and just ramble, so whatever you're here for, trust me, I got you. As I always say to get started, I'm a longtime Pro Shop guy, and I've uploaded nearly 2,000 videos with the goal of helping you know what you're buying so that you can waste less money and enjoy bowling more. I have both a full standard review up front and then plenty of online commentary, context, and thoughts in the back half of the video. We are, of course, at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas on the Kegel Chromium Challenge pattern, 42 feet, 25.5 mils. The graph is linked in the description if you want all of the pattern details. The Judge is your prototypical big asymmetric oil monster. 15-pound RG is 249, the differential is 052, and the int diff is 019. These numbers are right in line with typical heavy oil asyms from virtually every other company. Witness Solid is the cover, and it comes at 2500 grit. I think you can already see it's strong too, so this isn't an XL type of ball. It's more a gem or a Jackal Onyx. Matter of fact, I'm really glad I recently got into the Onyx because that's going to be a perfect comparison later in the video. To try to explain this as briefly and efficiently as possible, and sorry in advance, I'm going to say this same thing in every one of these swag reviews I have coming, just in case people don't watch them in order per se. These aren't your bros swag balls, and I think just looking at the names, the marketing, the optics of the balls, and already how this one is reacting should make that apparent. Bowler's Mart is now in control of the fulfillment and distribution for the Swag US market, as well as assisting with design, and that means hitting the reset button to a certain degree to make it more of a legitimate competitive brand. Swag has become kind of a meme that didn't really even take their own shtick seriously, or that didn't commit to the bit, so to speak, so I've always avoided offers in years past to do any kind of reviews because I felt like that'd be a hit to my credibility, to be honest. However, when Bowler's Mart owner Cliff Barnes, who's one of the best dudes in the industry by the way, when he told me what was up and asked me to test them out and shoot him straight on what I thought, I was still hesitant but also intrigued since it is new stuff. There's nothing called the Black Pearl Bloody Ocean, Special Edition, Remix, Tale of Captain Jack Sparrow or something. It all looks on paper like it's still trying to be edgy and fun, but also seriously compete in the US. I know there's going to be a million questions, so don't hesitate to leave comments. We need to move on to the ball reaction now. To catch up a little, the most comfortable place for me on the lane is a little 14 to 6 or 7 swing, or basically around third arrow, so that's where I start filming from to give me an instant impression. I'm rev and speed matched, and both are medium, so I would say that I have fairly average bowler specs. The type of ball I typically use is a strong symmetric like the Summit or GB5, up to weaker or more medium strength asyms like a Hammer Effect Tour or a Theorem, now the Black Widow Mania. And the Judge is definitely outside of that zone on the high side, but there's a twist here that I'll get into during the comparison to the Onyx. To recap the first couple zones here, it was definitely chonky until I knocked the dust off. Pretty early and slow. That describes most big asyms for me though, and again, even though 25.5 mils is more oil than most people's league patterns, I don't think anyone really understands how strong these big heavy oil balls are. They're built to handle heavy oil, which is more like 30 mils. Getting a ball like this and complaining about it puking in league is like hitting driver on a par 3 and then complaining that it hit the ball too far, so yeah, something like this is going to be too strong for most people in league. It's in Jackal Onyx, Rotogrip Gem, Columbia Pure Madness territory. It's your super strong, smooth, asymmetric oil hog. The shape reminds me the most of the Motive Evoke. This one is a little stronger, not quite as slow as the Evoke, and while it is as strong as the Jackal Onyx, I don't think it's quite as defined. It's a little bit rounder and more of a somewhat tumbly shape. Now, like the Fusion though, it was good from straight, but it liked the deeper zone inside of third arrow the best. Now, so far, all the swag balls have been very versatile. Usually I have 2 zones the ball wants to be in, maybe 3, but these have all been smooth or controllable enough to look good from the straight zone, but strong and continuous enough to get up and through the pocket from the deeper zones. There hasn't been a defined, this ball absolutely doesn't want to be here zone for any of them yet. This is a heavy oil ball for everyone. I don't think there are any specific bowler types or styles it's going to necessarily be better or worse for. It just needs oil, or at least some polish if you want to use it more often. It was strong but shaped firmly for me from straighter, and it pulled up and continued through the pocket from deeper, even though I do think it wanted more oil than what was out there on this pattern. At 185 on Bowler's Mart, it's at the very least on par or competitive with other companies' top-of-the-line offerings. Motive, of course, is the most expensive brand out there right now, but the top-of-the-line balls from every other company is 180 to 200-ish, so this one is right in the mix. Again, competitive reaction, it's not one of those situations where it's like, well, it's good, you can tell it's kind of a knockoff or value brand type of thing, but it'll work. No, this one's actually competitive with the other brands, and you'll see that in a minute. If you like my jersey, by the way, code ROSEDAL10 at checkout will knock 10% off one of these. Same discount code for 3D printed ball cups and spinners from Scarred Prints, plus there's a discount link for 10% off a Nexus backpack, their new journal, or other products, and finally an email address for custom handcrafted items like pins, bottle openers, and stoppers, and even bowls made out of old bowling balls. All kinds of great and helpful things in the description. Also take a look at my YouTube memberships, where for just $5 a month you can get all my videos early and ad-free. Of course, we're comparing this one to the Jackal Onyx. I've said that about a dozen times now, so here we are. This is very nice and timely for this to work out because the Onyx is really good. Jackal is a famous name from Motive, and the Onyx, I think, is in the top 3 best true heavy oil balls out there right now. Just like the Judge, it looks good, but it starts out a little chalky from third arrow, so it's a little slow and flat on a couple shots. Move out to the straighter zone, and it's a nice blend of strength, control, and a firm move down lane. Get in deeper where you'd think, okay, a ball this strong, early, and smooth isn't going to want to be in here, but it picks up and keeps climbing. Slightly different shapes here. Again, the Judge is more of a slightly tumbly, rounder climbing shape. The Onyx is a more archy, mostly continuous, but slightly directional shape. Very similar ball reactions overall, though lots of similarities here. The twist that I mentioned earlier is that the Onyx actually looks really good for me in League, which I wasn't expecting. Typically, balls like this are just too strong, but with it being smooth and controllable, it blends the pattern really well, and because it's more patient and kind of climbing, it doesn't really burn up unless I feed it too much friction too fast or get it out too far, but that's just kind of a trade-off. The cleaner, sharper stuff I typically use in League gives me mistake room outside but zero inside. The difference here is just that the Onyx is too slow and flat if I miss outside, but it blends and gives me hold to the inside. I haven't thrown the Judge yet in League, but I actually think I could with the out-of-box surface knocked down a little. Make sure to stick around for the live comm on this one, even if you typically don't, because the fun twist here is that when I got these balls, I had no idea what the specs were, so it's just me throwing a ball and reading what it's doing. This one was pretty easy to call, though. There's a point where I debate for a couple shots if it's an XL type of ball that's just a little dull out of the box, but I do catch on fairly quickly. This ball's also going to League and tournaments, with me to check out at least. I really do like the Onyx, so there's going to be some stiff competition there, and once again, I think I've clearly illustrated that it's competitive with the major brands out there. I never thought I'd throw a swag ball, and especially never say anything like this about it, so if you're looking for something different and want to stand out from the crowd, or just like throwing stuff you don't see all over the place, at least not yet, give these a fair shake. Swag isn't a meme brand anymore, and if you continue to think that, the joke might be on you. This video was brought to you by Panda Bear Productions. We put the in bowling. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you. Oh, I was waiting to slap it off. Okay. That one puked a little bit. Ugh. That's a little bit of yikes there. That was it's very chuggy and pukey. Might have to been rolling the last two a little bit, and sometimes balls can lock up if you try to slow roll them too much or milk them, make them, try to milk hook out of them or milk shape out of them. That was a very bad shot, but it worked. That's better. There we go. That was not good, but it'll hook. Okay, so we're getting some of the chalk off of it. Sometimes stuff just comes too chalky, too much out of the box. And again, this is a medium volume pattern. This is 25.5 mils, so it's not. This is probably a stronger ball than I would use on this pattern. Got a new line for that too. It's like, that's holding, but it wasn't called because I'm a Chiefs fan. One more shot from here, one more decent shot from here, and then we'll move a little bit. Pretty okay. Okay, let's straighten up a little bit and see what happens. It's smooth enough that I think it's gonna pick up and kind of walk in there. I don't think I'm gonna have a ton of trouble from straighter. It'll be operator error or operator trouble if I do, I think. Okay, fell off of it, but again, I don't know any of the details. I don't know core numbers, I don't know covers, I don't know cover strengths. It's just, it's asymmetric because it has a mass bias. That's where I'm at. Okay, she's waking up a little bit. I don't know if it's because it's weaker and wants to be straighter, or if it's just really, really chalky out of the box. I don't know if this is it's waking up, or if it's just. Okay, that was gonna be a little high. I actually got through that one and didn't dump it, so knock the dust off, get a little bit of shine on it, and we'll go back. Once we get done here, we'll go back and take a look there. That's really good. Yeah. All right, I think we're seeing what we need to see here, so I'm gonna go back in. I'll go back to where I started at. We got a little bit of, it's not necessarily shiny, but we definitely knocked the dust off. I've knocked the rest off. So. Doesn't carry 9 pins, 8 pins, whatever. It's still a 9 pin. There we go. Okay, so I think it was just a little chalky to start with. Kind of reminded me of the NV Tour a little bit. Comes at parking lot. And it looks terrible until you get a couple games on it. Let's throw one more decent one here and then we'll move in. Pretty good. Yeah, I think we're okay here. I don't know, I put this in like Evoke territory. It's got kind of the Evoke-y, slow, smooth, continuous, Not super fat, not super strong, but not like weak either. It's gonna hook because we grabbed it. Okay, so this same thing that's happening with the Fusion. The Fusion was kind of slower and tame, calm, whatever else from Schrader. Feed it a little bit of oil. Yeah, that's very, very evoke-ish. I think I'd put it in evoke territory. It's definitely not as, it's not as chuggy as a gem. It's not as dynamic as an XL. That's not gonna hook, is it? It is gonna hook. It is gonna hook. Add another one to the ticker. Okay, that's still further out than we wanted to get it, but all right. One more good shot from here, and I think we'll call it a day. Oh, that's really good. Okay, we can